Yo, it's Carcat. This video was very highly requested, so I'm excited to get into it. Quick disclaimer, we're going to be focusing on how to position on flankers like Black Panther, so if you're a support player or a tank player, time to swap to the best character in the game. Also, if you want to support the educational content, consider subscribing. Now, I was racking my brain on how to best approach this because I want to teach you the principles behind positioning so you can go out and find your own spots you like. You know, teach a man to fish and all. But tons of people have been asking me to cover positioning on every single map. So in this video, we're going to do a mix of both and try to get as much info out there as fast as possible so you can become a positioning god by the time you're done watching it. Let's do it. When it comes to ideal positioning, there are 4 things in particular you're looking for. At any given time, you might not have all 4 available to you, but for every one of the 4 you get, your position goes up a tier in quality. What you want is a short off angle with cover on high ground. Let's go through each of these and quickly talk about what they mean. Short is exactly what it sounds like. You're close enough to the enemy team that you can engage in a few seconds or less. Avoid positioning that requires tons of transition time before you can actually reach your target. Off angles we cover in depth in the dive guide, but this just means you're not standing with the rest of your team. You're on a flank, usually off to the side or behind the enemy team. Cover is crucial. Positioning behind cover means you're not at risk yourself while you wait for the right moment to go in. Keep an eye on destructible environments as well. Sometimes your cover could be destroyed if the enemy team notices you. Finally, high ground turns a good position into a great position. Approaching from height makes you harder to notice and harder to hit, and the natural cover from positioning above the enemy team will make it much easier to stay alive. Again, you may not have all 4 of these things at once, but the goal is to find as many spots on each map that fit these criteria. Now, there are 2 bonus things to look for in your positioning that will seriously increase your effectiveness. The first is positioning somewhere where you can gather info on the game state. This usually means abusing the third-person perspective to actively monitor what's going on so you can more easily identify when to go in. If you're holding somewhere that completely blocks off your line of sight, you'll have a lot less to go on. The last thing is potentially the most valuable, having the element of surprise. It's okay to take a position that's strong, even if the enemy team knows you're there. You'll force them to play differently to account for the potential pressure you're able to exert. However, if you can take that same position without them realizing it, your kill potential skyrockets. I'm not exaggerating when I say you can think of having the element of surprise as a genuine 20% damage boost to your next engage, practically speaking. There's one more thing to talk about before moving on to specific spots on each map, and it's giving ground versus holding ground. Once you've positioned yourself in a spot you want to hold, oftentimes, even if they initially don't know you were there, someone will come to contest you. It's important you understand when you should fight for the position to prevent them from getting it and maintain it for yourself, and when you should just back off and look for another spot, or try to take it back later. As a general guideline, if a tank, bad 1v1 matchup, or multiple heroes come to contest you, you should back off. Otherwise, you can stand your ground and try to prevent them from getting the value of the position. Now that we've covered the philosophy behind positioning, please enjoy this montage of spots you may find helpful on each map. This will by no means be exhaustive, so I highly encourage you to take what you've learned and try to find spots on your own. Good luck!